Hello and welcome to Weekly Wrestling Review for the 23rd of the 1st, 2016, not 2015 like I've said in my last two videos, sorry guys. And today of course we're going to go through Raw, NXT, TNA, not SmackDown because I missed it, and the news and rumours of the past week. So first we're going to start off with Raw like we always do, and Raw started with Martin Luther King tribute because it's Martin Luther King Day, that the day that Raw appeared, or over the weekend it happened, I don't know the specific date. But we opened with that, then we had a Reigns, Chris Jericho and the Good Nations promo, which is actually pretty good, but kind of a bit racist, because they said they couldn't understand Rusev because he's Bulgarian, which is weird. But then we had Reigns versus Rusev, not Rusev, with Jericho being special guest referee. This was actually a good match, I enjoyed it. Reigns got the clean win, but then Jericho's ref was amazing. He was hilarious, flinging out Sheamus first, then flinging out Barrett, then Alberto Del Rio, kind of showing old school Jericho, which was really good. Then in a backstage segment with him and Stephanie McMahon, where he wished it was 1999. She was moaning about Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar and money, and then he called her a dirty, skanky hole, which was funny. Old school Jericho is always good. But then we had Natalia returning with Paige against Brie and Alicia Fox, and this was just a nothing match, just to get Natty back in the game, and it was boring. And we then had Bray Wyatt versus the Dudley Boys and Ryback, and this was a WWE tag match, which means it's boring. Just boring. Wyatt's got the win, nothing match. Then I had the Big Show, who's apparently face now, apparently, which is not fun, because then we have him versus Heath Slater, and he knocked out all the social. He won, then knocked out Adam Rose, Heath Slater, Bo Dallas, and Curtis Axel. Then had a segment with Vince McMahon and Steph McMahon. This, I don't know if it was just me, but I found this funny. Like, just because Vince is an old man, and all his gestures and that were quite funny. How he couldn't open the bulbs, even though the bulbs are probably the lightest thing on the planet, and he can still open them, even though he's a big jacked guy. It was really quite funny, especially because he's an old guy. And of course, it announced that Reigns was going to be number one in the Royal Rumble, which they should have just announced that on the first Raw, which they announced that the W title match was going to happen, but of course they didn't. So then we had Tamina versus Becky Lynch, and Becky Lynch did her best to get the best match out of Tamina, and I got to say she did pretty well for a nothing match. But and she got the win with the disarmer. Because I thought this was a nothing match. The promo she did with Ric Flair and Charlotte Flair was amazing. She screamed about how she wanted to become Divas champion, how Charlotte betrayed her and stuff like that. And then she started tempting, and Charlotte wanted saying, "I've already bet you I'm not going to give you a title match." But then she taunted Ric Flair, and Ric Flair being old school, like wooing, being raging with him feuding with Bret Hart back in the day, and like it reminds me of him feuding with Bret Hart and Randy Savage, and even kind of Shawn Michaels back in 2008 before he retired. It was really good. So after that we had Dean Ambrose and Kalisto versus League of Nations with Barrett, and this was okay, with the League of Nations getting the win. We then had probably one of the best part of Raw, Francesca's funeral, which Francesca being the trombone of the New Day, and this was really funny. And then the Big E nominated himself, or sorry, Xavier Woods nominated him to face Jey Uso, and that match was really good. I really enjoyed that match between Big E and Jey Uso. They had a really good match. Big E getting the win. We then had the typical, this happens every year when Martin Luther King comes about, they get all the black wrestlers in a match and let them win. Even if they're bad guys, they let them win. But this year we had Titus O'Neil, R-Truth and Neville. I think I'm missing something. Titus O'Neil, Mark Henry, R-Truth and Neville, yeah, the third people, versus the Cosmic Wasteland and Tyler Breeze. And of course, Mark Henry's team won, but there was a big botch at the end. Titus O'Neil was meant to fling him, and Mark Henry catch him in the World Snooker Slam. Tyler Breeze went right over Mark Henry's head. It's on the WWE YouTube channel. Watch the match in there, it's quite funny. Then had the highlight reel in the main event, which was really good actually. The start of it anyhow, with Reigns and Lesnar having a brawl, with Reigns spearing Lesnar for last week. I really enjoyed it. But then it got, near the end it got a bit weird with the wives coming out, but it was still good. Then on to TNA, we had, it opened with Matt and Jeff doing a promo. Then Tyrus came out and, no exaggeration, he said these words: "I am a gorgeous unicorn." Sometimes I wonder why I watch wrestling, honestly, especially TNA. We then had Jeff versus Tyrus, which was blah. They announced that Feast or Fired is coming back, so I'm guessing Grado's going, because he's on the pro stuff for it. So, bye bye Grado. I won't see you in TNA anymore. Good to see you in ICW, but. And then we had Gail King versus Kong for the Women's Championship, or on the Knockouts Champions. This was good, like, bland match I've had all the time, but it's still good. They had Beer Money versus Godders and Eli Drake. It was okay, Beer Money getting the win. Then they had a Lashley and Angle promo, where it was announced that Lashley will be the person to have the final match with Angle and Birmingham on the last stop of the Maximum Impact tour. But then we had Bennett versus Pepper Parks. Bennett squashed him. Then we had Hardy versus EC3 in a last man standing match. It was a good match. Of course, you have all the Hardy spots. But then you had something weird at the end. You have Tyrus turning on EC3, Hardy turning on the fans, Hardy turning heel, his wife going in the ring. That whole thing. It's kind of awkward. And I don't like heel Hardy. He's boring. He's not scary. He's not intimidating. He's just bad. Then we had the best part of the week with NXT. And NXT was really good this week, with Sami Zayn versus Adam Rose, and it's great to see Sami in our NXT ring again. It's always fun, and Adam Rose put a good performance in. Then I had Gable, Chad Gable and Jason Jordan promo, and they called themselves the American Alphas of wrestling, and this is really cool. Like, Chad Gable's got so much charisma. He's going to be an amazing competitor when he gets to the main roster. I can't wait. So then we had Ty Dillinger versus Cruz, and it was a good match. Not as good as our match I had at TakeOver Brooklyn, but it was still a good match. And then Cruz got the mic and said he didn't want a title match, he didn't want anything, he just wanted another one-on-one match with Finn Balor. So I'm guessing next week it's going to be Finn Balor versus Paul Cruz 2. Then had Baron Corbin versus the debuting Rich Swann, and this was really good, just because I love Rich Swann. His work in PWG, it was amazing. If you don't see any of it, go back and watch it, find some clips on YouTube, watch his match at Bola. It's really good this year. It was one with Matt Scroll, it was one of the best matches at Bola. Then we had Emma versus Alexa Bliss versus Carmella and Bayley. This was really good and enjoyable, fun. Carmella's really good with her wacky antics, and the two of them got the win. Then we had the best match on the show, Gargano versus Joe, and this was amazing. Absolutely loved it from my heart. It was really fun, enjoyable, hard hitting. Really like the indie work, and I don't think they've ever met in indie ring. I'm not sure. I've not seen a match like this before. I've not seen them wrestle before. So this was a new experience for me, and I was blown away by two of them. So glad that WWE have picked up Gargano as like a main wrestler, and I think he's finishing up with Evolve soon. And I was under indie dates, so he should be go working full time with NXT. Him and Tommaso both working full time, so this should be really good, and they're both hopefully going to become future stars in WWE. So now we're on to news and rumours, and just a quick side note, on my pad I've wrote "God, I love NXT," and that's really true. So I've got Tough Enough Heat on the winner of Tough Enough. I'm not mentioning his name because I don't remember it. Because of he said social jobbers to the social outcasts. Fair enough. Kevin Owens and up slagged him, and apparently he's going to get hazed in this week's Royal Rumble match, and I hope they don't waste a spot on him. Apparently Tyler Breeze is going to heat him for leaving a live event early. Apparently AJ Styles in December, just before WWE signed him, were talking to AJ Styles and he nearly signed a deal along with Doc and Anderson, but that's apparently wasn't true. Just seeing try to get headlines again. And finally, AJ Styles has been officially signed with WWE apparently, but they've not announced anything. But I've been told that he has been signed by multiple sources. Now, that has been Week in Wrestling with you guys. Hope you've enjoyed it. My name has been Paul. This has been the Week in Wrestling. Now, what do you think? Leave your comments on this Week in Wrestling down below, and I'll see you guys later.